Hi, in this video we are going to look into the representation of the element in the 2D plane based on the location according to that actual 2D plane. So in this example here, we will be working in a 2D plane represented by this current 2D plane, and here you can see that we have an element that has a face that belongs to that plane. One is actually away from that plane, and the other is crossed by that plane. So how could they be represented differently? So here, if we don't select any element and simply enter that 2D plane, when these three buttons are deactivated, we only see the element that exists in that 2D plane. So we see the main surface we add and the end face of the beam. Only the element that actually have a face that belong in that 2D plane can be selected and worked with. So here I can select this element, move it, cut it, copy it, or even modify its attributes. If I would like to represent the elements that are cut by the 2D plane, I can use one of these two buttons. And the thing is, it will depend whether the element was selected or not before we enter that 2D plane. So here we didn't have any active element. So if I click on this button, I will actually see the trace of the element that is crossed by the 2D plane. And here you can see the difference in representation. No hatching, and here it represents the hatched surface for that cross section. And here you see this element can be used as a reference, so I can still bring my element and use this node as a reference, but this element cannot be activated or modified. If we go back in 3D, we will of course have the same thing if the element is activated. So here I'm just going to copy this to the side and have only one of them activated and jump into my 2D plane. Now here we will see the difference based on activated or not. Again, the use remain the same. They can be shown as reference, but cannot be used or modified. The third option here allows you to cast active element on the 2D plane. So even though the element do not have any point of contact with the 2D plane, you might want to use it or even transform it in that 2D plane. And to do so, it will need to be activated and use this option. One thing here that is interesting is, since this option is used to cast all points of an element onto the 2D plane, this element now becomes available to work with in that 2D plane. So you can again copy it, cut it, modify it, move it to your liking. One quick way to see if an element can be actually edited in a 2D plane is if you see its axis point. As long as you see an active point of the element represented like this, you will be able to activate that element. So that's a small trick, but I hope it helps you when working in 2D plane. Thank you for watching. Bye.